Ahí está. Ahora sí. There we go again.
Oh, yeah.
Repeat.
There we are. Repeat.
Try again.
Try again. So I'm very happy that you're all here. Very difficult to be able to get such a person, the Sixto Paz Wells, here. And he is a contactee, not only one time, two times, for a long time. And so he has a lot of history, a lot to tell you. Like I told my group before, look at YouTube, watch Paula Harris, look for Paula Harris. She did an interview with him in English, so you have more background. We're going to do an overview today, so we have time to do your questions. And I heard his conference in Spain, and he does a slideshow, and it's very intense, very detail-oriented, and we're talking about over 40 years of information. So, Joseph?
Okay. First of all, my name is Joe Decker, and welcome to our group. We're very excited that you're here. We have a full house, which is good, and that means that we're still looking up into the skies and see if we see UFOs or whatever else we can find. We want to welcome Sixto Paz here. He started out when you were what? How old you were? 15, 14, 16, 18?
¿Cuántos años tenías?
18.
18 years old. He began
Yes,
with
18.
doing different things about with the paranormal stuff, and from there his history began. And so, like many of us are finding out about the things that are happening to us now that happened to us when we were younger. So this whole presentation, he's going to cover a lot of stuff. And your questions, please write them down or keep them ready for the end of the presentation, because it's going to be a very interesting presentation.
And we would like to go around the room and do one question at a time, and go around and do a second question. If there's time for a third, we'll do a third.
I'll read this real quick. He's an author, international speaker on the UFOs, and has contact experiences both in scientific and spiritual point of view. He has his own organization called Rama Mission that has groups all over the world. So just like we're gathered here, there's groups all over the world that get together for this type of discussion.
And Marcos is the head of the group here in Houston.
He has had constant contact with extraterrestrials since 1974. Now, one of the things we talk about is that we'd sure like to meet some of these individuals, but you know, it's kind of far away from us right now. But he's already had that experience. He's been involved with international press and also has had published 20 books in Spanish.
21.
21.
In Spanish, 20. And one
in English. Is this on Amazon?
Yeah.
So this is his
You
book.
can find this
You know, we'll
In
pass
English?
it around.
in English.
It's in English.
It's
You've
the
been
history of
looking
our contact.
So it's available on Amazon. He has created a systematic preparation for physical and mental contact with ufology. This is a very interesting meeting that we have here today. So without any further ado, if you want to go ahead and I will translate for him as best as I can.
I apologize because I haven't practiced in English. That's my problem. I can explain all my experience in English. Maybe in the near future I can explain
sure you
in
will.
English.
Or we can all learn Spanish. Entonces empieza, yo te traduzco.
Formo parte de un grupo de contacto.
He's part of a contact group.
Esta no es la historia de Sixto Paz,
This is his history of his life,
sino de un colectivo de personas,
but a group of people that have been involved with what he's been with this extraterrestrial.
de la que yo soy solamente uno más.
He's just one more person in this group of people.
Esta experiencia es importante porque ha contribuido a darle también mayor credibilidad al tema contacto.
His experiences are very important because it's brought credibility to this area, which is so difficult to get people to study it, to commit, to present. So he has been involved with this, and this adds to the credibility of this situation.
Porque 10 veces hemos invitado a la prensa.
He has invited the press 10 times.
O sea, bastaría haber invitado una sola vez
He should have only done it one time, but it had to be 10 times.
y no arriesgarse a que la próxima no aparezca.
And it's possibly that even with the 10th meeting, nothing will appear.
¿Por qué lo hemos hecho 10 veces?
Why has he tried this thing 10 times with the press?
Porque para nosotros es importante saber que sigue siendo verdad.
For him, it's important to make sure that people understand that it's the truth that he's working with, and it's trying to get it out into the public domain.
Que todo lo que estamos compartiendo con la gente es real.
Everything that he's experienced is real, it's the truth, it happens.
Ellos dicen de que nuestro planeta Tierra, o sea, los extraterrestres dicen que la Tierra murió hace 1.200 millones de años.
The extraterrestrials told him and his group that the Earth itself died 1.2 million years ago.
1,200 million years ago. O sea, murió producto de impactos de lluvia meteórica.
The Earth was impacted by meteorites and things from space that actually killed the Earth.
Que destruyeron
The life that was there.
destruyeron la vida y al planeta. El planeta se hizo puré, se hizo polvo, la Tierra desapareció.
Whatever life was there was completely destroyed, and the Earth was just a dead body in space.
Sí. Y para los extraterrestres el tiempo en el universo es como una espiral ascendente.
The extraterrestrials measure time in a spiral. They measure time in a spiral
Sí.
instead of.
En un momento de la espiral la Tierra murió, pero el universo continuó.
During that period when the Earth died, the universe continued to operate the way it was operating.
Sí.
It was traveling in space, but
Sí.
it was a dead body,
Sí, die and disappear.
and then it disappeared.
Sí, sí. Los extraterrestres son civilizaciones que han avanzado mucho tecnológica y mentalmente.
Extraterrestrials are very advanced civilizations, not only intellectually but technically.
Sí. Pero a costa de dejar de lado las emociones y los sentimientos.
They have set aside emotions and feelings as part of their. They don't have what we have.
Sí. Eso los llevó a ellos a un estancamiento evolutivo.
They hit a period in their evolution where that disappeared.
O sea, los frenó en su crecimiento espiritual.
The spiritual aspect of their lives ended at a certain point, and they continued with technology, intelligence, information.
Por lo cual ellos decidieron llevar a cabo el plan cósmico.
So they developed a cosmic plan based on their knowledge of the time. Not emotional, not feelings, no love. It just technically mathematics,
Sí.
science.
O sea, el plan cósmico consistía en experimentar en 8 planetas.
The cosmic plan was implemented on 8 planets.
2 planetas por galaxia.
2 planets per galaxy were selected for the plan.
4 galaxias
4 galaxies
de un grupo de galaxias que gira en torno a una galaxia central,
revolving around a central galaxy in the center.
que es la que nosotros conocemos como Andrómeda.
So that center galaxy is Andromeda. So these other ones were galaxies surrounding Andromeda.
La condición de esos 8 planetas es que no debían tener futuro.
The information that was at that time was that those 2 planets per galaxy had no future.
O sea, eran planetas que se hubieran destruido.
They were planets that had been destroyed. They were just dead bodies.
Y se les iba a dar una segunda oportunidad.
And they were going to be given a second chance by the extraterrestrials.
Por lo cual, los extraterrestres recibieron la autorización de jerarquías cósmicas.
The extraterrestrials needed permission, first of all, to get permission from the cosmic universe to do this.
Hierarchies, ¿sí? Para viajar a través del tiempo y del espacio.
To be able to move through space over time and space to get to these planets.
A través de pliegues dimensionales, puertas dimensionales.
Going through dimensional portals.
Y llegar a planetas como la Tierra antes de que murieran.
And get to the planet before the planet just destroyed itself or died. So they were there.
E impedir de que murieran.
Avoid the death of the planet.
Creando un tiempo alternativo paradójico.
Create a different time span for this planet to give it a chance to survive and not die.
Según los extraterrestres, nosotros vivimos en una paradoja espacio-temporal.
We live in a parallel period, I guess, or
Sí.
dimension.
En un tiempo al margen del real tiempo del universo.
A dimension based on real time in a separate dimension.
Y ellos viajan a través del tiempo y el espacio y entran en nuestra realidad y vuelven a su realidad.
The extraterrestrials travel through space into real time and then future time. They go back and forth. They're not limited to a specific time.
La idea de ellos era crear las condiciones para que surgiera civilizaciones bajo un patrón de evolución diferente al de ellos.
Their mission was to establish a world or a civilization that would exist by itself and not necessarily based on their way of living. It was to give the planet a chance.
O sea, civilizaciones que enfatizaran más las emociones y los sentimientos.
Believe it, they were very interested in making sure that these planets, when they evolved, that they were feelings of emotions and feelings and the sense of humanity into these planets versus the dead technology future that they were in.
Y les permitieran a ellos aprender o recordar cosas a través nuestro.
And what they did is they made sure that we remembered things, that we were given information into our minds of these things that they didn't have. They wanted the planet to evolve on the human aspect, the feelings, the emotions that we have.
Al ser un tiempo paradójico, es irreconciliable. Jamás tendría por qué conectarse con el tiempo real.
There's a future parallel path and then a real time, and they don't come together. They're moving in separate dimensions.
Ya. Obviamente, cuando ellos tomaran toda la información que a ellos les interesaba, ellos iban como a resetear, como a borrar el programa, y sería como si nosotros no hubiéramos existido jamás.
In their process, they could very easily erase all the history of that civilization or that time, that the human emotions could be removed and it didn't affect them.
Pero
¿Puedo decir algo?
Sí, cómo no.
Sería más como, it will be more like they create us to learn from us, and then at some point they thought that when they learn from the experiment they can erase the experiment and it will be like we never exist.
Right.
Algo así.
sí, es como que tú haces un laboratorio y experimentas con virus, con bacterias, ¿no? Tratas de, o sea, cuando ya tú extrajiste toda la información que te interesaba del laboratorio, ya quemas el laboratorio o haces desaparecer el laboratorio para no contaminar el exterior.
It was like the example he's given is if you had a laboratory and you started experimenting with viruses in your laboratory. So you gather all this information, you do all these studies, and then you reach a point where you say, okay, that's it, and you erase and destroy all that information like it never existed.
Not the information, sino más bien las evidencias, o sea,
The
los
evidence,
materiales,
the
¿no?
evidence of,
Sí.
of that civilization.
Lo que ellos nunca tomaron en cuenta es que en contacto con nosotros las emociones los iban a afectar tanto.
What surprised them was, and they weren't expecting, was that their contact with us, with our emotions, affected them.
E iban a crear apegos con nosotros.
Yes, I think it was that.
Apegos, cariño, como
Oh,
atracción.
emotions.
Sí.
Yeah, they weren't planning on picking up on human emotions. They were surprised.
Entonces hubo extraterrestres que se hicieron adorar como dioses.
There were extraterrestrials that almost became gods in their effort to work with humans. They were considered gods.
Ya, o sea, cayeron en el juego, en el ego, en el vanidad, ya de hacerse adorar como dioses, ¿no es cierto?
Yeah, even though they didn't plan to become like gods or being given the honor of being gods, they accepted the emotions and feelings.
No, but it's more like I'm sorry.
That's all right. No, go ahead.
But it's more like they were affected by the contact with us, and their emotions start to coming up. So their ego start to flow, and then they start to feel like, oh, we can be the gods of these guys. So they start to want them to, ¿cómo se dice? Que los adoren. Praise them like gods. Not because the humans, because they want to be like, worship like gods. Because the contact with the planet and with our emotions affect them. They didn't thought that they're going to be affected because they were so mental, but when they were in contact with us, they were affected, and so they tried to be gods that they are not.
Y hubo también quienes usaron pueblos para pelearse entre ellos.
They use cities to fight amongst each other.
Sí, pero usando pueblos enteros, o sea, grupos humanos para pelearse entre ellos, entre los mismos extraterrestres.
The extraterrestrials created situations where cities began to fight each other,
Y
of humans.
hubo extraterrestres que se hibridaron con seres humanos, tuvieron relaciones sexuales con seres humanos en la Tierra.
There were some of the aliens that actually had sexual relations with some of the humans on these experiments that they were working on.
O sea, cosa que nunca debe haber ocurrido,
Something that should have never happened.
porque éramos un experimento.
We were an experiment.
Se tenían que haber mantenido las distancias.
In other words, they were violating their own rules of the relationship between them and humans. They were violating their own rules, and they started doing things that humans started doing.
Volvemos a la imagen del laboratorio con los virus.
Go back to the lab with the viruses.
O sea, hay protocolos de que si hay contaminación, el laboratorio se cierra con todos los que están adentro.
There's protocols that if there's a virus that escapes in the laboratory, that laboratory will be eliminated, including the people or scientists that are in there studying the viruses. Those are protocols to avoid a plague or something coming out, and that's what they were into.
Lo que está pasando en China en este momento, ¿no?
What's happening in China right now.
Sí. Entonces, al final, ellos han quedado también encerrados dentro del experimento.
What happened was that they themselves now became captured in the experiment that they were performing on us. They're captured now
Porque se han contaminado.
because they're contaminated with what
O
we
sea,
have.
se involucraron tanto con nosotros
They got so involved with our relations and emotions and feelings.
que ahora ellos son nuestro pasado y nosotros somos su futuro.
They are now our past, and we are now their future.
Los dos tiempos debían correr paralelos,
The two times should be running together,
pero al involucrarse,
but when they got involved with us,
los dos tiempos han empezado a acercarse peligrosamente.
they're getting very close to each other. They're coming together, the two paths between the extraterrestrials.
Con el riesgo de integrarse en un solo tiempo.
And what's happening is now these two different time zones or dimensions are so close that it's going to become one. There won't be two different time zones or two different dimensional situations. They're going to be combined.
Los mayas, que eran matemáticos,
The Mayas that were experts with mathematics,
ya lo supieron.
they knew what had happened.
Supieron hacer los algoritmos
They learned how to work algorithms, the Mayas,
y calcularon que el 21 de diciembre del año 2012
and they calculated that December the 21st of 2012,
los dos tiempos se iban a juntar en uno solo.
the two times joined together, the future and the present.
Ya, no el futuro y el presente, sino el tiempo alternativo nuestro con el tiempo real de ellos.
Our alternate dimension with their real time joined.
Por eso los mayas nunca hablaron de ningún fin del mundo.
The Mayas never discussed the end of the world scenario.
Ellos lo que hablaron fue de la sincronización de los tiempos
They discussed the synchronization of the two different times becoming one,
o el giro del tiempo.
or the needle is turning, right?
Sí, la posibilidad de que la Tierra pasara a la cuarta dimensión.
They talked about the land, the planet itself and the land going into the fourth dimension.
Que es el tiempo.
That's time.
Entonces, el 21 de diciembre del 2012 la Tierra pasó a la cuarta dimensión.
On that day, December 21st, 2012, that exchange took place where the land became the real time.
Las cosas no han cambiado mucho para nosotros,
Things haven't changed much for us humans
porque ya venían cambiando de antes.
because there were changes that were happening before in time.
Para quienes han cambiado las cosas de forma radical,
That one I can't get translated. Okay.
sí,
Radical
Radical way.
Go ahead translate.
Radical.
Radical change.
Radical.
Okay. Yeah.
o sea, para quienes han cambiado las cosas muy fuertemente, muy profundamente,
Very strong
ya es para los
changes.
extraterrestres.
Yeah, the changes that were occurring were becoming very radical compared to what they had before.
To the ETs, not to us.
They were
to
the ones
them.
that experienced
They were
drastic
experiencing things and affecting them. We contaminated them.
Es como una persona que tiene un sueño recurrente, un
It's like
sueño
a per-
repetido.
It's like a person who has a dream, continuous dream.
Tú sueñas que sales a la puerta de tu casa
You
Y
dream
ves-
that you come out to your door of your house
y te encuentras un hermoso árbol frondoso.
and you see a beautiful tree.
Te despiertas, vas a la puerta de tu casa y hay una pared, hay cemento, no hay nada.
You wake up, you go to the door, and you open the door, and it's something. It's another concrete wall, and it's not what you dreamt.
Tiempo
It's not what
después vuelves a soñar, sales a la puerta de tu casa y hay un hermoso árbol frondoso.
and you can have the same dream again. That you go to the door, and you open the door, and there's a beautiful tree there,
Y te despiertas, vas ahí, no hay nada.
and you keep going there, and nothing's there. It's just in the dream.
Tiempo después te despiertas,
After a while, you have another dream and wake up.
vas a la puerta de tu casa
You go to the door,
y el árbol siempre estuvo ahí.
and the tree's there.
O sea, siempre
It was
estuvo ahí.
always there.
It
sea,
was always there.
¿Cuál fue el sueño?
Which was the dream? The tree being there or not being there?
Eso es lo que le está pasando a ellos.
That's what's happening to the
Les
extraterrestrials.
estamos cambiando su historia.
We're changing their history. We're affecting them.
Porque antes solamente éramos una ilusión, un programa como de computadora.
We were an illusion. We were a program. We were an app, you might say.
¿Ya? Ahora somos parte de esa realidad.
Now we're part of that reality.
Es como,
In
si,
their eyes.
es como si el universo estuviera colapsando detrás de nosotros.
It's like the universe is behind us in terms
Collapsing.
Collapsing behind us.
Cuando tuvimos la oportunidad de ir a Australia,
When we had the opportunity to go to Australia,
nos entrevistamos con los Anangu, con los aborígenes australianos.
they make contact with the Aborigines of Australia.
Y ellos te cuentan
They tell you a story
de que los Wanjima, los dioses del cielo,
that the gods from the sky
crearon a la humanidad y a la tierra en el Tujurpa, en el tiempo del sueño.
they created humanity in the time of the dream time, the dream time.
En el sueño, o sea, en el tiempo del sueño de los dioses.
The dream time of the gods is when we were created.
O sea, un tiempo diferente al real tiempo, o sea, un tiempo diferente al tiempo de la, o sea, el tiempo real.
It was a different time, but in the real time. In other words, the dream time became the real time.
Sí. O sea que hay dos tiempos, el tiempo de los dioses y nuestro tiempo.
There's a time of the gods and our time.
Y ellos le dijeron a los humanos que por ningún motivo debíamos salir de aquí.
They told the humans on Earth that no possibility of us leaving this land, this Earth,
Y que no tratáramos de mirar más allá.
and not to get more involved beyond what we have here, not to consider other things in space and things like
Que
that.
este planeta era nuestra responsabilidad.
That this planet was our responsibility, period.
Pero
Just-
pero que por ningún motivo quisiéramos saber más allá de eso.
and for no reason should we know anymore or try anymore or investigate anymore.
Y hubo una gran guerra de los Wanjima, se pelearon entre ellos,
There was a big battle between these tribes of Indians.
porque no estaban de acuerdo con las instrucciones.
Some of them agreed with it, the instructions, and some of them didn't. Typical human reaction. For and against.
Sí, unos querían más de nosotros y otros tenían miedo de nosotros.
Some of them wanted more information, and some were afraid of the people that wanted more information.
Y los hombres serpiente venenosos,
The humans that were the reptilians, the poisonous reptilians, humans,
ya fueron deportados y exiliados después de esa batalla entre ellos.
there was a battle between them and us, I guess.
They were exiled.
¿Ya?
They were exiled.
Y fueron dejados debajo de la gran piedra de Uluru, o sea que está en el centro de Australia.
They're in the underground caverns of Australia.
Sí, o sea, Big Stone es
Oh, yeah, it's a huge
es
stone.
un monolito gigante que se llama Ayers Rock o de Uluru Stone.
Monolith.
Sí, entonces ahí dejaron los huesos de estos hombres reptil.
There's a big stone that you see in pictures of Australia. It almost looks like a loaf of bread. It's a huge.
El asunto es que esa historia que cuentan los aborígenes australianos te las cuentan todos los pueblos de la Tierra.
All those stories that the Aborigines talk about the extraterrestrials, those talks are also in a lot of places of the earth, other tribes and things like that. So it's a common story that exists.
O sea, antes éramos un experimento, una realidad alterna.
We were an experiment at one time, an alternate reality.
Ahora somos la realidad.
Now we're reality.
Ahora son ellos los que están en problemas.
Now they're having problems with our reality that they didn't plan us to have.
Cuando tú te despiertas de un sueño,
When you wake up from a dream,
olvidas el sueño.
you forget the dream.
Ellos no querían olvidar todo lo que se impuso el proyecto para aprender de nosotros.
They didn't want us to forget the information that we dreamt because they wanted to absorb all that information that our brains were generating in terms
Por eso
of.
ellos dejaron grabado en el ADN humano, en el código genético,
That's why they left a lot of information in the genetic code that we have.
el antes, durante y después del plan cósmico.
There's before, the present, and then the future in the code.
¿Ya? O sea, nosotros somos la memoria de ellos.
We are a product of their memories.
Por eso somos necesarios también para ellos.
That's why they're very important. We're very important to them. We're part of their life cycle, I guess, or their.
Pero hay un grupo de extraterrestres que fueron deportados a la Tierra hace miles de años atrás,
There was a group of extraterrestrials that were forced to come to Earth by other
que
extraterrestrials,
han hecho lo imposible para borrarnos la memoria
and it's been impossible for them to erase our memories.
e incluso acabar con el ser humano.
In fact, the elimination of the human species.
Al principio porque tenían temor de que pusiéramos en peligro el orden cósmico.
They were concerned that we would at some point create a problem in the cosmic order,
Y ahora más que nada porque tienen miedo de que descubramos de que somos una versión corregida y mejorada de ellos.
their concern is that they've realized that what they're afraid of is they've learned that we are a more advanced race in terms of comparing to them, in terms of feelings, emotions, and life.
O sea, la única ventaja que ellos tienen sobre nosotros
The only advantage they have over us,
es que mientras que ellos conocen sus limitaciones,
if they know their limitations,
nosotros no conocemos nuestras posibilidades.
we don't worry about limitations.
Our potential.
potential.
Our potential.
Our future, our,
Sí, sí.
our abilities,
Sí.
what we can
O sea,
do.
ellos conocen sus limitaciones, pero nosotros no conocemos nuestros potenciales.
They know their limitations. We don't recognize our limitations. We keep moving forward
Our
as a species.
potential, our
Sí,
potential,
our
our
potential.
limitation.
Yeah.
Sí. Entonces, ese es el fondo, realmente es lo esencial realmente. Eso que vimos un ovni, que el ovni bajó, que nos invitó a la nave, esa es la parte anecdótica.
Yeah, we see an omni, we see a UFO land, we see these things, and that's information that we're getting that's real.
It's
Sí,
the hypnotic.
sí, sí. O sea, hemos tenido esos contactos muy cercanos, hemos subido a sus naves,
We've had those contacts. We've been on ships.
los hemos acompañado fuera de aquí, con ellos allá.
We have gone with them outside of the Earth atmosphere into whatever they go.
Pero nada de eso es importante.
But none of that is important.
Lo importante es por qué y para qué.
The important is why, and why is that happening?
Y
What
eso,
is the
y eso es lo que les he tratado de contar ahora.
And that's what he's trying to let you know, that it's this future thing that we're talking
Podríamos haber utilizado una hora completa contándoles cómo fue la primera vez, si el objeto era redondo, si tenía 3 luces, 4 ventanas.
Yeah, we could talk about specifics, designs, specifics and things like that, but that's not the important thing.
Claro, son más de 60 razas diferentes las que están llegando a la Tierra,
There's 60 races visiting the Earth at this time.
con las más variadas intenciones,
Okay.
With varied
con
interests.
very different intentions.
Oh, different
No.
missions, different
Sí,
purpose.
sí. Ahora, nuestra galaxia tiene un gobierno,
Our galaxy has a government.
son 24 seres.
There are 24 beings.
Es el Consejo Galáctico.
It's the
Galactic
Galactic
Federation.
Federation.
Por debajo de ellos hay todo un orden, o sea, una jerarquía.
There's a hierarchy of people underneath them, the
Está-
24 elders.
Están los ingenieros genéticos o sembradores de vida.
Genetic engineers.
Sí.
There's genetic engineers
Sí.
underneath these
Or
24 elders.
or extraterrestrial farmers or something
Farmers,
like that.
yeah.
Okay. Ya por debajo están los guardianes y vigilantes.
Then underneath they have the security of the people that are.
The guardians and ¿cómo se diría?
Security.
Guardianes,
Guardians.
guardians
Guardians,
and
the
vigilantes.
Vigilantes, vigilance.
Sí.
The watchers.
Sí,
The
sí,
watchers.
Y más cerca nuestro, the instructors.
And closer to us, the instructors. So there's different
Sí.
levels underneath the 24 elders of this
Entonces los
federation.
24 ancianos disponen quiénes, bajo qué condiciones pueden venir a un planeta como el nuestro a echarnos una mano.
They decide, the elders decide what the missions are going to be, whether they're going to help us or not, or what areas they're going to help us on. So
O a
it's-
impedir de que nadie pueda poner en peligro el programa.
And one of their missions is to make sure that nobody puts the program they have in danger of being affected.
Hace 26.000 años de los nuestros,
26,000 years ago,
en una de las últimas etapas del plan cósmico,
a period of one of the plans of the cosmic plan,
sí, dos grandes civilizaciones fueron enviados a la Tierra en calidad de guardianes y vigilantes.
two big civilizations came to Earth, one of the Watchers and then the Guardians.
Unos eran los seres de Orión y otros los seres de las Pléyades.
I can't remember.
Sí.
Pleiadians and Orions.
Okay,
Sí.
the two different groups, the Pleiadians and the Orions.
Los pleiadianos de apariencia humana.
The Pleiadians look like us.
Los Oriones eran felinos, anfibios, reptiles.
Wow. The Orions were amphibians, felines, and what was the third?
Reptilians.
Reptilians.
Sí. El jefe del grupo de los Oriones
The man in charge, or the person in charge of the
era
Orions,
un ser de 3 metros de altura,
he was 3 meters tall,
cola,
had a tail,
y era un reptil.
he was a reptilian.
Un ser muy simpático.
Very interesting character.
Ya. Este líder consideró que nosotros éramos peligrosos,
He decided that we as humans were a danger to them,
que podíamos poner en peligro el orden cósmico.
that we could put the cosmic order in problems.
Teníamos la curiosidad como Alicia mirando detrás del espejo. Alice.
Allison.
Sí, Alice Wonderland.
Wonderland.
Sí,
Yeah, okay.
sí. Entonces, que teníamos esa curiosidad
We were curious.
Y-
We wanted to know more.
y eso nos hacía peligrosos.
And that was the danger.
¿Ya?
And that exists here in this world today.
El plan cósmico ya había fallado en los otros 7 planetas.
The cosmic plan had failed in 7 other planets.
3 de esos planetas se habían vuelto a destruir totalmente
3 of those planets destroyed themselves completely with their plan.
por problemas naturales, cósmicos y todo. 4 de esos otros planetas se habían estancado evolutivamente.
4 of them, their evolution stopped.
Los extraterrestres habían intervenido tan de cerca en esos planetas que fueron una copia del proceso de evolución de ellos y se estancaron evolutivamente.
They became so involved with the humans in that situation that they stopped the evolution of the individual, of the human race. They basically stopped the movement.
Se volvieron casi una copia del proceso de evolución de ellos.
When they stopped the evolution of that planet, it almost reflected exactly on their evolution. It didn't move past them.
O sea, no servía para nada, no aportaba nada.
Nothing grew from that experiment. It just stopped. It died.
El único planeta en el cual los experimentadores han perdido el control sobre el experimento,
The only planet where the people in charge have lost control of the experiment,
donde puede pasar cualquier cosa,
or anything can happen,
incluso una versión corregida y mejorada del plan original,
and where something can be better than the original plan is Earth.
here. Sí. Ya. Entonces,
So
algunos de estos extraterrestres estaban emocionados de que el proyecto continuara.
some of the extraterrestrials wanted the project to continue, the evolution of Earth,
Otros estaban temerosos de que continuara.
and some were against it because they were afraid of